Your first chapter sucks, and here's why. In today's video, we're going to discuss the reasons why your first chapter might be bland and uninteresting to your readers. And we're going to think about ways that we can write a first chapter that captures our readers' attention right from the beginning, but also makes them active participants in our story's journey. We often think of that first chapter as the place to set up the story. We need to introduce readers to the protagonist, maybe important side characters, maybe the antagonist or the conflict. There's backstory to infuse and a setting to unfold. And as we try to pack all of that into chapter 1, we may fall to the use of exposition. We start to tell our readers what to expect, and all of that backstory and exposition, well, it kills engagement rather than captures our readers' attention. Readers want to encounter characters who do have a past, but they don't want to know everything about your character up front. They want to learn about how your character got to where they are today organically as they go along their reader's journey. Your readers are curious. They want basic questions answered in chapter 1, but they want you to leave them with more questions. So let's look at 4 ways that we can accomplish this lofty goal. Most of us know that starting on a typical day and having your protagonist wake up and go through their morning routine is not engaging. Instead of trying to build up to the turning point that drives the story forward, taking us through an entire day before we get to that, I want you to consider one pivotal scene that sparks the true conflict. Try to distill chapter 1 into an external event that starts to drive the story forward and clashes with your main character's internal desires. We want to see a main character who is actively making choices that starts to put everything into motion. Instead of having them stepping outside of their house on that first day and being greeted with a quest, I want you to consider why that quest may have landed on their doorstep based on any decisions they made in the past and present actions that they are currently taking at the beginning of your story. Your protagonist might not make the right decision. They might even run in the opposite direction right now, but when they become active participants in their own story, you are providing huge impact and payoff because that pivotal scene is of huge importance to your main character. It influences what they want or even what they don't want, and it warrants the story moving forward. Now that you have a pivotal scene or premise for that first chapter, let's dive a little bit deeper into the very first sentence. If you can write a first sentence that elicits strong emotions in your reader or is curiosity-driven, then you can hook them with very few words. These sentences are incredibly powerful in their own way. They reel you in for a few reasons. They state a belief that many have in a not-so-subtle way. They immediately jar you out of that cozy expectation that you are going to be eased into the story, and they leave you wondering who is telling the story and why they are having such a thought. Whether you decide to start with a sweeping truth or a mystery waiting to be unraveled will depend on the type of story that you are writing. Either way, within the first few sentences of your story, you have the opportunity to pack an unforgettable punch with just a few words. Those first few sentences are going to be written and rewritten again. So they may not shine that first time around, but know that as you write more of your story, you can keep coming back to them and rewriting and refining them until they shine. Another problem with taking too long to ease readers into the story is that they are not yet convinced that this story should matter to them. Your readers need to know that there are high stakes from the beginning. High stakes for your protagonist, those connected around them, and maybe the world at large. It doesn't need to be life or death, but there has to be a reason that readers would care about your protagonist. Readers want to know why what they're about to do, the choices they're about to make are crucial to their trajectory. You may want to leave your readers in suspense, not giving them an entire view yet of the conflict that's going to unfold. And that's perfectly fine, but there should be at least a little understanding that there is something at stake for your character if they choose to accept an opportunity or avoid an opportunity. What might they lose? How might it change them? Give some foreshadowing to your readers right up front. So to build in high stakes right from chapter 1, ask yourself, what is my protagonist's greatest desire? Why can't they have that right now? What decisions are they making which are stopping them from accomplishing that desire? And how will their actions and choices in chapter 1 be the first ripples that influence their development in the long run? A first chapter is never perfect on the first write through. Your story is continuing to evolve as you write it. And by the time you get to its end, that final chapter is going to provide you, the writer, with revelations as well. Revelations that you will be able to infuse back into the start of your story. So if you're just starting out your story, take a stab at chapter 1 now with all of what we've talked about today. And then remember that when you have completed that rough draft, to go back and allow yourself to rewrite. Allow yourself to strengthen your pivotal scene, the sentences, and the high stakes that you are weaving into your main character's future. If thinking about your reader's expectations is stressing you out and it's making it difficult for you to write an amazing first chapter, I want you to watch this video next. In it, we talk about why we should first write for ourselves, at least during the rough draft, and then think about our readers later. That way, our creative integrity and spark can be infused throughout the story. Take care and happy writing.